Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this weekend? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great weekend. And thank you for joining me again on a new live stream for the pet clinic. And first things first, coming from last week, it was so easy. Again, it was so simple. For those of you who don't remember, I'll show you what I mean in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about what do we want to do today. Going to show you my plan real quick. See a lot of hearts going up in the chat already. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, last week we implemented we added images to the pet dropdown. I think we added it to the to the appointment on the doctor side. So we're going to just replicate that on the admin side and also add that to the doctor's dropdown real quick. I'm going to add it on screen. I didn't have time to add it on camera, off camera during the weekend. During this past week, mainly because I was working on this thing that we didn't get to do last week. It was so easy. You can't imagine, but I managed to figure it out and I'll show you how in just a few minutes. First, we're going to take care of the images in dropdowns for doctors and replicating the pets images in dropdowns on the admin side. And then we are going to continue. I'm going to show you how I solve this and move on to a few more tests that I have for the owners panel, specifically for the appointments. I think we started a few in the last session where we just render the page, one smoke test, and then we can show a list of appointments. The ones I want to work today, as many as I can, is just specific things on when you're creating an appointment. If you remember, whenever we're creating an appointment, it's going to be similar to the one in the admin panel, where you select a clinic and then a doctor and then a time slot and then you create an appointment. But on those forms, we implemented custom features where the doctor's dropdown, for example, is not visible until you select a clinic, and so is the date, etc., etc. So I want to show you, or I want to test those custom features or those custom behaviors on the form builder. I want to write tests for that so that we know for sure that they work as expected. So that's basically what I have planned for today. And if I can get to it, also I'm going to try and scope the table for the appointments so that it only show appointments for the pets that the owner owns. So only for own pets. So that's one thing that I want to do today as well. So let's get started. Do I have this open already? Yes, I do. So let's see. Let's open the admin appointment. No, let's first go to the appointment resource on the doctor side. Doctor's appointment resource, because this is where we implemented the dropdown for the images for the dropdown. I think, was it here? Dr. role, HTML required. Looks like it wasn't here. Where did I put that first? Let me remember. So we have a pet ID. Oh yeah, this is, here it is. It's allow HTML and then get result. Using all of these, I want to put in the appointment resource for the admin side. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to open appointment resource on the admin and just quickly replicate that. It'll be for the pet. So I'm gonna just go and copy all of the settings basically. So from label all the way up all the way down to options. I'm gonna copy this and just use that here. Hope I don't break anything. So pet ID, we set label, allow HTML, searchable, required, the helper text, which is something I didn't have when there is no available pets for this clinic. I don't think we need that because this is the admin panel. We can see all clinics. We're not using columns this form. We're not. We should. If we're going to make it all look the same, we should use also the columns. By default, every form builder has 2 columns. So yeah, I'm going to span this to a full width. Get search result using name like search limit 50 get. This will get me 50 pets based on the search term. And then map that with keys into an array so that we can show the result, the search results. And then for the options, again, just get all the pets, map that into an array and return. I need this method here, but that makes me think that that method should not be in just one resource. I think we should move that to its own class, maybe a support class. Let's see where we can put it. Oh, I already have probably, let me check. I already have a class. Do I already have a class? I don't think I do. Let's create one. I'm going to create a new class in a new folder. I'm going to call it support. And then, how do we call this? This is just for the pet, but I'm not going to, well, yeah, it is for the pet. I'm trying to think if we should make it generalized because I'm going to do that with the doctor as well. So is the code general enough so I can just pass a model to the get option string and then return something more general? Let's see. First, and before creating that file, let me explore this method real quick. See if there's something I can generalize here. Well, the view is not general. What we can do is create a general class that has several options for, or at least 2 methods, one to get the options for the pets and one to get the options for the doctors, which is pretty much all we need. So yeah, it'll be something like get options string or something like that. Let's where is the folder again? Support here. New file. Avatar dropdowns, avatar options. Yeah, I like that one. PHP. This is going to be, let's quickly write a PHP class. This is going to be in app support. As a namespace, and then I don't think I'm going to extend this class anywhere, so let's just make it final class. All right, Avatar options, that's fine. It doesn't extend anyone, doesn't implement anything. It's just that. Final class, avatar options, and this is going to have, let's move that function, this static function into that class. So public static function get option string is just going to receive a model. This one, this is options for get pet option string, just because of the view. And let's create another one right away for the get doctor option string. I'm going to create a new view for select doctor. Why do I keep saying doctors? Select doctor results when we pass the same record into it, and then render. I think that's pretty much all I need, and then I can just come back here, remove this one from the appointment per resource on the doctors panel, and down here, instead of static, let's use the new class, which is, how did I call it? Avatar options get pet option string, like so. Did I import this? Let me check. Yep, there it is. And that should work as before. Let me just test and make sure that I didn't break anything. I need to move to the doctors. That's something interesting. I just noticed that in the owners panel, there is no image for the owner. Therefore, the dropdown is kind of hidden. So we need to fix that at some point. Let's move to the doctors panel. And let's log in as John as example. Appointments, and let's try new appointment. Yeah, there is a problem here. I didn't import model on the new class as it is regular with me. So let's import this model class, Illuminate Database Eloquent Model. And yeah, that's still working. Now let's do that. Let's do the same thing on the admin panel. So real quick, I'm going to move out of this and into the admin panel. And this is where we are going to implement the new functionality, as well as the doctor's dropdown. As soon as we select a clinic and a date. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. Yep. So we're going to have a picture here and a picture here. This is the doctor's one, and this is the support class. Let me close this. And now this is the admin one. Appointment resource, instead of using static, again, let's use avatar options. Hold on. And then get doc, no, this is pets, still pet. Get pet option string. Let me see if I need to import anything else, because this was all copy pasted. Avatar options, that's imported. I think we're good. Let's give this a try. If I go back to the admin panel here and refresh, this is good. Awesome. That was quick. Now let's do that for the doctor. So let's say we select Rufus and select clinic. I'm thinking this might generate conflicts, maybe. Remember how a pet, this is just something that just popped into my head. Pets belong to clinics. So if I create an appointment as an admin for a pet that doesn't belong to that clinic, I think it automatically assigns it to the clinic, but we'll see. Something to think about. Let's say Monday. And then doctors. This is the new thing that I need. A picture here for the doctor. So let's add that real quick. I'm going to grab... Almost all of this is going to be the same. I'm going to get all of this from the pet dropdown. Well, no, sometimes copy and pasting can be tricky. So let's do it slowly, step by step. Clinic ID, date picker, and then doctor. So we do have a label. Thing we need is, we need allow HTML. We do have a function for the options, which we should, instead of returning this where it belongs to, we need to put this into a variable and then map it, so that instead of having a name, we have the HTML result. Also, we still need the view, so remind me about that. Let's see. Scroll up a little. Let's say the options. I'm gonna copy just this part. And then put it, say, here. Now, instead of returning all of these users, I'm going to put them in a doctor's variable, and then return doctors, map with keys function. This is a doctor, so let's select, get doctor options. And finally, doctor here. Don't think we need to block. Right? We don't. So let's just do get in this case. Cool. So that should work. This is not searchable, so we don't need search results. Although we should. I don't know why it's not searchable. Wait, is it? Native hidden. It's not searchable. We should make it searchable, but that's not something that we're working on right now. So let's focus on just one thing at a time. So this should work. Now we need a view, a new view, which is just like resources, views, filament. I think it's in components. Yes, select bed results. We need something like this. So I'm going to copy that. And in fact, I'm just going to copy the file. Copy and paste it here and then rename it to select doctor results. And the column name is still avatar, and we are still referring to the name. So this really doesn't change. Well, that makes me think we should only need one view. And that will make it just one function. Right? I think so. Let's make it work and then rework it first. At least we have a clear idea. So I'm going to do it with two views for now, make it work, and then change it to make it more general. So this should work. Let's go back here. This should work as well. Let's give it a try. Go back to here, refresh. Select one pet, select one clinic, select a date, and image is not working here. How so? Just going to quickly analyze the code for this section here. I think we named the column differently though. Let me go, because see how this is just rendering localhost storage, but there is no image after that. So that makes me think that the column name is different because we're getting null out of that, out of the avatar column. Let me check. Where do we check this? Maybe in the user model class. Yeah, we named it differently. Dang it. Although one quick fix for that will be to create an attribute on the user. Let's create an attribute. Let's see. So yeah, we use avatar URL just because of Filament, but now let's see, how did we create attributes? I keep forgetting. Thankfully, we have documentation. So Laravel docs, real quick. Attributes. No. Okay, let me just go here. Eloquent ORM, getting started. Trimming models. Where was that? I think we already have something similar. Remember that we are creating an attribute for, I think it was the slot. Yeah, slot. We have an attribute called formatted time. So it's just returning an attribute make with the get function. Okay, cool. So let's say public function avatar. This is going to return a string. Of course, I have to properly write function. And then return attribute. What was the class name? Illuminate database eloquent cast attribute. This one. So we make one for this, and we need a get callable function. You can use a shorthand for this. What is this? What is this? It takes in the value and attributes. We don't need to use the value though, because we're just reading. So value attributes, and we just need to return, sorry, we use attributes avatar URL. Not there, here. Yeah, the return type has to be attribute. Like so. Save that. And just very quickly to make sure that it works. PHP artisan thinker user equals user find. Let's just find the first one. Hopefully that one, yeah, all of them have avatar URLs right there. And if I say user avatar, that should work. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, let's go back. With just that, everything should be working on this side. Let's refresh. Select pet, select a clinic, select a date, and there it is. So we have images for the doctor. Now, real quick, before we move on, I want to quickly rework what I just have, just so the support class only has one method that is general for both the pet and the doctor. Hey Radu, how you doing? Hi, glad to be here live. Love the new stream on Wednesday. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you like it. It has been very successful, very well received, to be honest, and I am very grateful for that. So back to see how this view. We have one for doctor, one for pet, but they are both the same now that I have that attribute in doctor. So let's just delete the doctor one. Let's delete. Let's rename this one. Instead of calling it pet, I'm just going to say select results. All right, that's general. We're just using a record that could be, the record could be a pet or a doctor. So now I need to go up to the avatar options. Sorry. And we can remove this second one. We are receiving a model as a parameter. Again, could be a pet, could be a doctor. And we just pass that to the view. Rename the method to getOptionString. And then go back to the appointment resource. And instead of using getDoctorOptionString, just use getOptionString. And up here for the pet as well, instead of using getPetOptionString, we just use getOptionString. And we need to also modify this in the other appointment resource for the doctors. Instead of using getPet, just use getOptionString. And we should be good. Let's go check. We still have images for the pet, and select a clinic, select a date, and we have pictures for the doctor as well, and using one support class, one method, and we are serving the drop-down options for both the pet and the doctor. I think we're gonna leave it there. I like how it's looking, but we still need things to do on the testing side. So yeah, let's leave this feature there for now. And let's move to this. For those of you who, hi, I am PM, and this is actually a really interesting project. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. If you weren't here last week, let me give you a recap. I wanted to test the uploading of pet images to the owner's resource. So as we know, we can add images to pets, but I wanted a test for that. And I started working at that, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working on the assertion. Let me show you how the test looks. Let me clear a few things first. So pet resource test, right? So this is what we did last week. We just created a new pet using a factory for the owner user, and then to test uploading images in Laravel in general. This is not something about Filament. This is a Laravel topic. You need to create a fake disk, and we call that disk avatars. This is just how the local disk works, for example, or the S3 disk works. So you need, Laravel works with disks, and the local disk is just handles copying, creating, deleting files on the local file system, and the S3 disk handles creating all of the file system elements with dealing with S3, Amazon S3. But in this case, we create a fake disk for avatars, all right? And we call it avatars. And then we create a fake upload file. So we create a fake avatar PNG file that we're going to then put into the form with fill form, and we are going to set that file into the avatar input. The avatar input is a file, how is it called? Let me show you. No, wait. I forget the name. It's just a file input in Filament. I forget the name, but it's just a file input where you put files, images, any other kind of file, and you can upload it. Filament takes care of uploading the file for you, so you don't have to think about that. But Filament uses the Laravel file system configuration and uses the default disk that Laravel has configured. So in our case, when we were not testing and we were creating any the other features for the admin and the owner, sorry, the doctor, when uploading files, Laravel was just using the default disk, which was local, and he was taking care of uploading that file to the default entry point on that disk. Again, that is a Laravel configuration. You go to your file system configuration, and there is an entry where you say, this is where all the files go into. And Filament is just following that. And that was working. So in this case, for the test, we are filling the form, calling create, and asserting there is no errors on the form. And then we are asserting at the last line that the file that we just uploaded exists. How is that assertion working? The storage facade is checking the default entry folder for the fake disk that we're using, which is avatars, and just checking that the file with this name, it's present on that folder. That was failing, but it was failing because Filament was still trying to use the default disk from Laravel, which was the local disk. And I noticed that because whenever I run the test, the fake file was being created on my local file system, which is not supposed to happen. The fake storage, which is avatars, takes care of deleting all of the files once the test is done. That was not happening. So how do we solve this? And how do we properly test file uploads in Filament, in Laravel in general, and Livewire as well? We need to define, well, in the case of Filament, we need to tell Filament what is the file system that we need to work with. So you do that by opening PHP unit XML and define a new environment variable called Filament File System Disk. This by default is the default Laravel file disk, which is local. But if we change this to avatars, which is the fake disk that we are creating specifically for the test, then that's the disk that Filament is going to use. He's going to upload that file, faking that upload, creating the file, and then once the test is done, the fake storage will delete that file and the file system is gone. So with just this environment variable, the test is working. So if we run this, and now it's passing. That was it. Just one environment variable to tell Filament, instead of using the default file system disk, use the fake one. And that's how you test file uploads in Filament. So yeah, that was a long road, but thankfully we got it to work. Redwane, hi, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Akiro, I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you for being here. And I think we can just go and mark this, at least this one, as completed. Now let's work on this one. It can update. Well, are we working? We're not yet working on the update, are we? We can. Let's write a test for this one. Which is going to be quite similar to this. So I'm just going to copy this test. So it can update the pet image instead of making one. We're just going to straight up create one pet. And by default, when we create a pet, it doesn't have an image, right? Let me go and check. First, let's fix this variable here. Instead of create pet, we need the update, no, edit pet. How is the factory working on the pet? Let me just go check real quick. Pet factory. Yeah, we don't have an image by default. We should have one, by the way. Let's just say avatar. Do we have fake image? Yes, we do. Let's try with that. Close this, go back here. So for the setup, we create a new pet for the owner, and that pet already has an image in it. Now we create again, we set up the storage, which is the fake storage, and set up and prepare a new file. And let's create another pet. This will be the new pet, which is just like this. Ooh. But instead of create, we're going to just create it in memory with make, and we are going to modify the state so that we can use the file. So for the avatar, let me move these two lines up here first. So we set up the storage, we create a new image file, and let's call it something different. New avatar.png, and we're going to set that as the new. Well, we don't need to do that actually. We can do that here in the form. So create a new pet in memory, and then on the edit pet, we're going to fill the form with the new pet name, new pet date of birth, new pet type, and the avatar will be the new avatar.png. We call the, what was it? Edit or update. Save, actually. Call save. assert the form has no errors, and then we already have pet here, so we can just say pet refresh maybe. So this will go and fetch the new data from database, and then we assert that the pet avatar file exists, which will be the new avatar.png. Let's test this. Unable to resolve dependency parameter 0 required record. What? Oh, we need to, yeah. This is an update, so we need to pass the record to the edit page. How did we do that previously? Like so. So we just need to pass the parameter record into the component. All right. Run that again. And it's passing. Perfect. By the way, if some of you feels that I'm going too fast or I'm not explaining something properly, let me know, please, because I know that I get too much in my head when I'm working or I'm doing something, and I focus on the things that I know, but sometimes I'm not very good at explaining those things. So if you feel that I can do a better job on that, please let me know. I don't want to lose you in any way or confuse you, so feel free to call me out. So if I remember correctly, there was a little bit of rework that I wanted to do on the showing the list of appointments. So let's go ahead and check that out. So we're done with the pet resource. Let's open appointment resource. But for the owner. Actually, appointment resource test. It can show a list of appointments, I think. What did I want it to do here? So I create a list of appointments for the pet, for the slot, and set doctor ID. Assert can see table records. We should also assert that I can see not just the table records, but the actual pet information. So let's use assert see text. Let's just try with the first one. Right. So this fails because see how I'm actually trying to visualize at least the pet name on the table. So the table loads and the table has records, but the table has no columns in it, and that's why this fails. So to solve that, we have to go into the appointment resource, down to the table schema, and add a new column. Tables, columns, text column, make. This will be for the pet name. And this should be sortable and searchable. Enjoy that popcorn. Hi Will, how you doing? I'm glad this is entertaining. I really do. Sometimes I worry that I'm boring, but at least I am glad that you guys find it entertaining enough to come back and watch me every week. It's really fulfilling. All right, now it's passing. Now we have the pet name, not just the records of the table, but we also see the information. What else do we want to see? Let's just get all of the columns out of the way. Let's go back real quick to appointments. Where is this? In the admin. Pet name, description, the doctor and the clinic. Appointment description, let's try that. Fails. Back to the resource, let's add another column. Ooh, not so many. This time for the appointment description. Run the test again. Passes. Now, generally, I would recommend you do one by one, like each column, assert, fail, fix, pass. But just to speed things up, I'm gonna do all of the columns at once. So for the test, description, you can just copy this. What was it? Doctor. So owner, was it owner? I think owner name. Let me just check. Pet, slot, clinic, doctor. Doctor, actually. There is also a description method on the column, which makes for a nice design. A description method on the column. Oh, right. Let me finish this test real quick. We'll look into it. Doctor name, then we need the clinic. clinic name. What else? Date, time, and status. I'm gonna see if this works, because for the date, I'm displaying the slot formatted time, I believe. No, that's not. It's actually a date. Yeah, there is actually a date. For the time, there is a formatted time. This is the one. And then status. Now the status is an enum, so I need the label. How did we get the label? Get value. Get key, I think. Or something like that. Key. It's gonna. I'll realize that when it fails. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the status key there. Let's run this test. Now let's add the columns to the table. I'm going to take the column definition from a different resource. Since we already have it, it's going to speed things along a little bit. But usually, if you were testing, this is just your first resource, you would have to go in and create each column individually. Description, date, slot formatted time, status. I'm going to take all of these columns. I already had a few. Hold on. Name, description. So I need just the doctor name onwards. Copy. So we have the doctor, the clinic, the date, formatted as we want. This is going to fail probably. Then formatted time, and we are also going to have to tinker with the status, I'm guessing. Run the test again. Attempt to read property name on null. Which one? Clinic or doctor? This one. Clinic. That's probably because we didn't assign a clinic to the appointment record. Yep. We should do that. But we should do that in the factory. There should be a default clinic. How do we create a relationship? Is it with attach? Let me check. I just need to remember when testing, when using factories, how do we set the relationship for many to many? How do we set a many to many relationship? So I'm going to go to testing. No, actually, factories. Eloquent factories. States. Relationships. Has many, belongs to many to many. Just has. Okay, so instead of role factory count one, we just use the actual clinic. We should there should be one because we're seeding the database. Let me go and check. So just use the has method. Real quick, I'm going to check the database factory, sorry, database seeder, role seeder, user seeder. I don't think I'm creating a clinic though. I'm not. Surprising. Do I even have a clinic factory? I do, but it's empty. Nice. So one step at a time. So let's go back to the appointment factory first. How do we do this in the clinic, in the factory definition? It doesn't say. Maybe not there. Okay, so not in the factory. Back in the test, let's do as clinic factory. Like so. Don't need to do any counting. I'm just going to create one. So that should fail because of the clinic. Hi Aid, how you doing? Thank you for being here. How many episodes left for the pet clinic? Ooh, honestly, not many. I mean, I expect to finish the testing for this maybe in 2 more episodes, I would say. I'm gonna try to speed it up because, spoiler alert, I have something else planned for the next Sunday stream, but that's gonna be a surprise. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna say 2 more episodes, maybe 3. And then we're going to start with a new project. Still failing on the clinic name. I was kind of expecting. Well, it is creating a clinic, but why is it not failing on the clinic factory? Do I have to do create here? No, I don't. Why is there a resource with a test name? Because we are testing, if you're referring to appointment resource test, this is the test file for the appointment resource. So we are doing test-driven development for filament resources, at least on the owner panel, just to teach people how to do that. So I'm curious as to, I'm trying to create a clinic here, and it should fail because there is nothing on that. They're so interesting. If you need to define attributes, that should be set on the pivot table. I don't. Hi Virgil, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Just dealing with some testing here. Why not DD appointments? Honestly, it's not the appointment things. It's not the appointment model that's worrying me. Is the clinic one. But I'm going to try to DD that. What happens if I just do clinic equals clinic factory create? Now it's failing. Okay, so it really doesn't report the failure of not being able to create a clinic without a name here in the has. It goes all the way into the assertion, which is interesting. Can I do has clinic like this? I can't. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to... Is there another way to do this? Role factory has attached. Okay, this is how I do want to do it. Has attached. Instead of using has, let's use has attached, and that works. So this way I can see clearly now that this is going to fail on the clinic factory. So save this, run it again, and now it's telling me, wait, hold on, I can't create a clinic without a name, and that's what I wanted to see first. Was that Virgil? I'm coming in when you're deeply thinking, deeply worried sometimes, but yeah. So now I need to fix the factory for the clinic, which is great. So let's go there. Clinic factory. And let's set the name as fake. Is there like a word? Yeah, fake word. I don't care. No worries, be happy about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. So let's test that again. And now it's complaining about the address. That's cool. So address equals fake address. Run it again. Now it's asking me for a zip code. Fake zip. No. Location? No. There is no fake zip code? Oh, there is. Fake zip? Think. Nope, there isn't. Not worried about this, so let's just use 5-digit number. Now we need a phone. What is it now? The relationship. Call to undefined method model appointment clinics. And the relation, wait, what? Appointment models, pet, slot, clinic. Oh, this belongs to, hold on. Oh man, I did all of this and this is a belongs to relationship. I don't know why I thought this was a many to many. So that changes things. So for a belongs to, I just have to use 4. Like so. That's all right. Don't worry about a thing. Clinic, instead of has attached, I just use 4, like so. And in fact, I can just move this down here. I apologize for the singing. I just realized that I've been singing this whole time. Not what you signed up for. Status key. Okay, we're past the clinic now. Now let's deal with the enum. Appointment status. Just name? I think it's just name. Think so? No, it's not. Let me DD this. Appointment. What am I getting back from here? No. Really? It's probably post code instead of zip. Let me try that. And then deal with the no. Clinic factory. fake postcode. Yes, sir. Thank you. Why am I getting? Probably want to assert against value. Probably, but that's going to give me the lowercase version, which is it's not going to work probably because status is still null. And that's probably something with the appointment factory. But let's try it. Yeah, still null. Yeah. It is the right property, but I'm still trying to access null. So let's fix the factory for appointment, I'm guessing. Appointment factory, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Clinic factory, I don't need this anymore. Appointment factory. Yeah, see, I'm only setting up the description for the appointment. I'm surprised that, well, no, I'm not surprised. Remember how the status, well, you probably don't remember. When we added the status column, I think we added that after the fact. So we added another migration probably. Thing is, the status column is nullable. We should fix that. In fact, let's fix that. Let's go to the migration. Create appointments table, right? Well, it does have a default. Why am I getting null? Why am I getting null? This is so interesting. Okay, let's go back to the test real quick. And let's just dd appointments 0 to array. Curious about that column. There is no status. Description, pet, slot, clinic, doctor, updated, ID. Huh. That's so weird. Fee level, probably. Though very unlikely. Status is right there. It's fee level, but why? So the appointment factory only has a description. Everything else this is so weird. First of all, it should fail on the pet ID. Well, that's not failing because I'm filling this in. Let me check the test. So I'm filling the pet, filling the slot, filling the clinic, setting the doctor. So all of those, pet, clinic, slot, clinic, pet, slot, clinic, doctor, those are all filled in. How about the date? Slot, pet, So strange. So strange. Let me go try something here. PHP artisan thinker. Fine. So if I get silent for a moment, I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm just using Tinker to use the factory. This is not a thing here. Okay. Now that I'm wasting time here. Why don't, yeah, let's go real quick and just manually set the state as appointment status enum created. Let's see what happens. Go back to appointment resource test and let's test that. Still not showing up. Oh well. Maybe you need to call the enum in the first test, in the test first. I don't know. It's worrying that I get the appointment back, but there is no state in the column, which is worrisome for me. If I go back to the appointment model, there is status. Status, Jesus. There it is. Status created. Finally. Now go back to the test. Remove this line. And try status value this time. Run previous. Please, no. Okay. Okay, the value is giving me the lowercase. And I'm expecting the uppercase value, so name. There you go. Oof. That was a long road. Stupid enums. It's so weird that if I don't set it manually, even though database migration states that the default value should be created, it doesn't do it. So when you do it when you're using the factory, apparently the default value for the database migration does not apply, so you have to manually set that up in the factory. And I was using the wrong name, that's why it wasn't working. But yeah, you just have to give the status of the appointment a default value on the factory, or maybe modify the state on the test itself. But yeah, at least it's working. And name will give you the key. Hold on. Name will give you this value, which is the uppercase C or the uppercase first letter, which is what Filament uses to display the value on the table, and that's what we are asserting as. And the value is the actual value in the database. So yeah. Let's mark this as completed. Enough rework. This is going to take some time, so I'm not going to move on from here. There's a lot of tests that we need to cover in very little time. It's only 30 minutes left. Let's see how much we can cover for this. Have we not tested this? It can create an appointment. We haven't. I don't know. I don't want to start with this. I know there are some things that I want to do with this that are probably not gonna, I'm probably not gonna have time to cover, and I don't want to cut it right in the middle. So let's, if it's okay with you guys, let's just take the win for this one and stop here. And then next week, we are going to move on to all of the other tests. We should move quickly. This is the only one that worries me because it has some element of scoping in it. So I do want to take the time to do it in one take. And then the rest of them, I think, are going to be pretty easy. So probably next week, we're going to finish testing and maybe one more episode just to finish up the owners panel. And then from there, we're going to move on to another project, but we'll talk about that in the future. For now, yeah, let's stop it here. If you found this video or this live stream helpful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you friends in the next one.